Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with another Viking Orations. Got another review for you today, and this time I'm going to be talking to you about the debut full-length album from the band Kanine, entitled Carnage, out now through Lacerated Enemy Records. And yeah, if you're not familiar with Carnage, they are a slam slash deathcore band. They like to run the two together, say they're a slam deathcore band. Um, but yeah, these guys are based out of Strasbourg, France, I believe is how you pronounce it. Been around since 2020, featuring Jason Gerhardt on vocals, Lucas Eckert on the bass, Gabriel Bouvier, probably totally butchered that. I apologize. On the drums, and finally Alexander Lawrence on guitars. Yeah, as I said, this is their debut full-length album. It is 9 tracks, just a couple of ticks over 29 minutes in length. And once again, this is a band I knew absolutely nothing about before getting the promo for this album. And immediately I was drawn to the artwork and the logo. And, I do enjoy some of the stuff that Lacerated Enemy releases. So I was kind of anxious to check this out because I thought, that's pretty badass artwork, pretty badass logo. So, I do like some deathcore. So let's see what these guys have to offer. So, what do you get from these 4 Frenchmen? Well, starting off the very short intro that this album has, it has this kind of like electronic, almost dubstep-ish sound to it. And to me, what sounds like the, Jaws, theme that, dun 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 dun. And then finally, once that little short intro is over with, it just launches into the first song proper, through the, kind of proper assault of this album. The guitars have that, deathcore, kind of genty-ish tone and feel to them. In addition to your standard, chuggy and breakdown style riffs, you do get some faster paced riffing with some pinch harmonics, and at times even riffs that could be even considered, a little melodic. I did find a few of those scattered here and there. Really thick sounding bass. It's not too high up in the mix. It kind of tends to work in tandem with the guitars to build a nice wall of heaviness and give the songs the backbone that they need. I mean, he does a lot of what I call bass bombs or bass drops. So again, if you hear me say bass bombs, I mean bass drops. It's just my term that I coined for it, and that's what I always use. So yeah, like I said before, you hear me say that term, that's what I'm talking about. I will say there are some really nice blast beats on this album and lots of really, really fast double bass. I love his quick bursts of double bass times, And while the snare has a good snap to it, the kicks definitely leave no doubt that they are triggered just because of how fast he is going and just the overall sound of the kick drum themselves. I will say that Jason delivers a really varied vocal performance on here. You get the low gutturals with more mid-range growls that are akin to, in my opinion, Phil Bozeman from Whitechapel, and then he mixes those with some nasty, retching screams and snarls, and you even get some gang-style vocals here and there. He does do some breathes, which, I know drive a lot of people crazy, and I don't mind them as long as they're not overly done. And even at one point, he even does these kind of like, for lack of a better term, like kind of like rap style vocals that brought to mind Bloodywood. In particular, track number 3, Gangrene, at the 113 mark. That's the kind of style I'm talking about. Immediately when those came in, I was thinking Bloodywood. But thankfully, both that and the breeze are kept at a real minimum on here. He kind of really tends to go for more of the, the gutturals and the retching style vocals. Now, when you get to track number 4, Abysses, at the 239 mark, he does this absolutely sick sounding 12-second long extended growl, similar to the one at the start of The Somatic Defilement by Whitechapel, which is honestly one of my favorite songs from that band. And the band definitely likes to use samples now and then throughout this thing, whether it be at the beginning of a song or midway through before coming back with a nice combo of a, bass bomb and chugged riff. There's a heavy boom. They seem to like to do that throughout this album, to kind of scatter those throughout. And also, the other thing I picked out, you gotta love a song called Counter Slam Bass Drop Offensive. I mean, as soon as I saw that title, I had to laugh. I thought that was pretty hilarious. Overall, I think this is a pretty decent debut offering from the still relatively young band, you know. And I will say I do like deathcore. I do listen to it occasionally still, but I kind of feel like I'm starting to phase it out of my rotation, to the point it's really hard for me to get excited about new bands unless they really stand out. And, you know, whether it be a band that just came out last year, or like these guys within the last couple of years, or just a new band that I might discover and they got it, you know, they're a deathcore band. I don't know. I don't find myself getting as excited as I used to be about deathcore. And honestly, I am not saying that these guys aren't good at what they do, or, you know, really knocking them in any way. And I don't want you to feel that's what I am doing when I say that. It's just, you know, to me, at the end of the day, if you like bands like the newer stuff, like, you know, Within Destruction, or even really, essentially even older Whitechapel, older Upon a Burning Body, things like that, I'd say give this a listen, because you're probably going to find something in this album that you're going to like. I would give this an 8 out of a 10. Um, like I said, pretty decent album. It's just, like I said, I'm just finding it harder and harder to really find deathcore that I like. And, you know, but like I said, I'm not dissing these guys at all. These guys are pretty good at what they do. And like I said, this thing to me has a lot of Whitechapel influence written all over it, because I hear it from the vocals, just some of the, you know, riffing even. But yeah, if that sounds like your thing, go check it out. I will be leaving a link down below so you can check it out for yourself. This could be your next favorite band. You never know. So, you know, go check it out for yourself. Make up your own opinion about it. 8 out of 10 from me. That is going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.